doing that show!
No, you're doing another review now!
What am I going to do? I'm going to make you a review of Dragon Dick.
Where you going?
It's The Great Outdoors. Dan Aykroyd and John Candy. It's funny because I just bought this movie too.
Noodles wanna know what you're doing over there too.
Noodles doesn't like The Great Outdoors. She thought it was stupid.
Noodles.
Get over here.
She's like,
Get over here.
hey, you need to give me some treats.
That's right, you get in here. You get your ass in there now.
Noodles like, hey, what you got in your hand, man? You gonna hurt me. Oh no.
This is my cat dude.
Oh no.
Hey, say hi to everybody, Noodles.
They really hate that one.
I'm rubbing your belly. Oh.
Noodles is not happy.
No. Oh, Noodles, you're my cat.
Let me translate what Noodles is saying. It's gonna be a fight. Noodles is like,
Fuck you, Noodles.
Let
Fuck
me
you.
go. Noodles.
She's coming back from home.
Noodles is camera shy. Oh.
What the hell are we doing? Like, why are we doing this? Does anybody really need to see this?
No.
Everybody needs to see it because everybody likes that something, Bill.
We got almost 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. Can I tell you who everybody doesn't like, though? Other horror radio podcasts that are a bunch of fucking old crotchety bitches. We gonna threaten to sue you. I'm gonna sue you. Just cause you're killing my son. I'm gonna sue you for being gay.
I'd be suing the fuck out of you then.
No. Let's consult with Dio about it real quick. No. When there's thunder, there must be rain. And you can go finger fuck your papa. So what we getting ready to do here? We're getting ready to do something. I'm sure this will be intriguing to
We're gonna
people.
watch some wrestling somewhere. I've got the tapes in there.
Not just any wrestling though. This is Bash at the Beach, 1994, when Hogan came in.
This is true. This is the WCW very first Bash at the Beach. A little bit of history for you. You know what the show was called before? It was called Bash at the Beach. They retitled it, Uncle Bill. Trivia question.
Tropic Thunder.
No.
Thunder in Paradise.
It was the Hogan TV show. It had Carl Weathers on it.
Thunder in paradise. Wanna go get fucking pissed on your face. Thunder
in Paradise. Terry Alexander sang that song.
It was actually Beach Blast, brother.
That's a shitty name. They should have called it Beach Blast Bingo.
You know a show that
I just completely went right by
you
them.
know a show that Smoky Mountain Wrestling did that WWE should bring back. They should have the pay-per-view, yearly pay-per-view in Pikeville, Kentucky. Bring it back. It's the Bluegrass Brawl.
Oh shit, I've forgotten about that.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling never had pay-per-views though. Interesting thing about Smoky Mountain Wrestling is like they would do these tours where they're big events. You know, they had Thanksgiving Thunder, the Bluegrass Brawl, the King of the Mountain, you know, whatever they called it, the big events. They were basically like pay-per-views, but they would have these little tours where the exact same results, it would be the exact same matches, the exact same results over a span of like 5 or 6 different cities, one of those would be used as the tape that they would sell. And I actually have one of the tapes somewhere back there in the archive. So.
Thanksgiving, though, was always like a really big time for the territories and for the shows when it was that way. But I think after Vince fucking put the kebab on any kind of TV time that they could get, they never tried anything on Thanksgiving after that.
He put the dick kebab on in it.
He did.
Yeah, Starcade was originally on Thanksgiving night for like the first, 4 or 5 years or something they did it. And then, of course, Survivor Series came along and Vince basically told David Crockett to go finger fuck his papaw. That wasn't going to happen, you know. So Starcade moved to December, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why WWE hasn't adopted Starcade as a December pay-per-view.
I'll tell you though, we watched an old, the last one of these we did, I think it was actually the one before the last one we did, we watched an old WCW pay-per-view called Battle Bowl.
The Lethal Lottery.
Bulls, that was fucking shit. Let me tell you why too. Aside from the fact, like, all the stuff we've been watching for WCW has been around like one era, and there wasn't anybody in that era worth of shit.
Have you noticed that all the stuff we picked to watch has been WCW stuff though? All of it.
Yeah.
And I've got a bunch of WWF stuff right up there that we haven't dug into. Oddly enough, B Jr. from Endurance Productions was telling me that Walmart, for $3, and I don't know if they have it at a Super Walmart or this Walmart down here, the WrestleMania 3 Special Edition DVD for $3. This includes various special features and all that.
Yeah, I did notice that Walmart's selling a shit ton of $3 DVDs now. Like, they've never done that before. The only person I knew that did that was Big Lots, but now Walmart has crossed the threshold of being killer. I'll tell you though, like, the reason I don't watch WWF pay-per-views is because those are the ones I've seen the most. Like, I haven't seen a lot of the WCW ones from that era, and actually now that I'm looking back on it, that's probably not a bad thing. Because like the Spin the Wheel Make the Deal from Halloween Havoc that we watched, that's another one. Like, they only did that for one fucking match, and the rest of it was like a regular pay-per-view. I'll never be able to figure that out.
Yeah, it was bizarre. I guess the ring, I guess getting that big damn cage. Like, what the fuck kind of cage was that anyway? I've never seen it anything that looked like that in a wrestling match before. I guess that took for Hell and Ever to put up, but it wouldn't take them as long to just yank it down or something. That's why they did that match first. Like the big match, the Chamber of Horrors match, because I have the pay-per-view version of Halloween Havoc 91, which is classic. Like, if you can get a hold of the copy
Yeah,
of that,
it is.
like that's wrestle crap at its finest. Like, wrestle crap basically started their whole website on Halloween Havoc 91 just because there was so much horrible shit in it, but horrible in a good way, in an entertaining way. But yeah, the main event was the first fucking match on the show. And I guess they closed it with the world title. Well, there was a world title match. They closed it with like Lex Luger and Ron Simmons or something like that. Like, that was the top of the fucking totem pole.
Yeah.
Think how hilarious that is.
Yeah, for some reason, back around that era, Ron Simmons had a whole lot of pull in WCW. I have no earthly idea why, because that guy was never worth shit at all. But I guess because he was like an All-American and all that shit. He's All-American American.
Who later would turn his back on America and convert to Islam and become Farouk Assad. And have the gayest looking fucking ring outfit I've ever seen for a while. You remember the little blue helmet thing he had on?
Yeah.
He looked. What was so weird about that? He dressed so goddamn gay. But when he did it, let me tell you something. Damn you. Y'all don't know what you're doing around here. Look how gay I look. You know.
Funny thing, you know, around that time period when he was the world champion was when those fucking pants were in style. It looked like somebody just taken like a paintbrush and like slung shit on your pants. Like, he's always wearing those baggy ass pants like it.
What were they called? What were they called? Like,
I forget. Like, there is a name for them, but I can't remember what they were.
I guess printed. Yeah, there's like what, leopard shit and
Yeah.
like just neon.
And then they had the paint smear ones and the leopard ones and like the zebra ones. Like,
Are they like capri pants maybe, or what?
I don't know what they were called, but like football players and shit wore them a lot too around that time period. But anyway, one thing I did notice though is that in going back and watching these pay-per-views, we've never gone back and watched any ECW pay-per-view. I thought that was odd.
Even though I've been converting them like a madman lately. Well, not as many ECW. Right now, I'm still going through all the WWF stuff that I've got. And I found some pretty cool stuff, like March to WrestleMania 10 and some Raws around WrestleMania 10 that I'd recorded myself from like 94. So we'll get to that stuff. I think I've got a couple actually in there. So we'll go through those at some point. Some of the early ECW pay-per-views are actually really cool to watch, like Barely Legal and Hardcore Heaven. All those were pretty cool.
So until that time, I'm Uncle Bill.
I'm Creepy Kentuckian, and maybe next time we do like one of these random ass things, my plan is over here in this section. You see empty space, a tripod, some posters, which I don't really care about that poster because I'm not a big fan of Hellraiser.
He shits on that poster. Look at that.
So I'll take that down, but I want to have a massive shelf right over there. And I think that's going to be my wrestling section, Uncle Bill. That's what I want to make it my wrestling section. I want to put my VHS and all that stuff. So next time we do one of these wrestle nights, I'm hoping I'll get this damn thing in here this week. If not, I'm going to go fucking kill somebody. So.
You ready for? Here's how I feel about that. You ready for me to do the Bob Charlie? I'm going to. Ooh.
Yeah, so that's the end of the most random, pointless video we've ever done. To this point, we can do another one. And I'm the Creepy Kentuckian. You can see us over at DEADPIT.com.
Ooh. Oh.
Hello, Aaron.
So guess what? Over here, next to the luscious HD DVD collection. This is the HD DVD library. It's like the Library of Congress of HD DVDs.
Bow down. There's a couple Blu-rays spread across in there, though.
You notice that 90% of them never been open. You're shit. So
look, but how many movies can I fucking watch?
We're going to talk about this, though. This is what the deal is.
That's Bash at the Beach 94. We're celebrating almost the 16-year anniversary of that. Which, as sad as that is, both of those motherfuckers are still wrestling.
And they're wrestling each other.
Yeah, still. They're still feuding with each other 16 years later.
This is, as you can see, this is Hulk's WCW debut. Right there, you can see that. So, on the back. I thought this was killer. Because, buddy, they were promoting the fuck out of it. Only WCW has Hulk Hogan. Recognize that.
You gotta love, too, throughout the rest of the show, actually, all they were talking about was, Hogan's in the back. He's Ric Flair. Everybody else, fuck all these other matches. Fuck Ricky Steamboat and Steve Austin and the killer match they're having. Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan's gonna have the best match ever.
The funny thing about this, that match wasn't that good. But Hogan really, he never did have a really great match like that. He just couldn't do it. But I mean, as for a Hogan match, that turned out pretty well. So let's talk about the matches that we can remember from this pay-per-view, because I'm sure I'm not going to be able to remember all of them.
One I can remember that I really liked was Johnny B. Bad versus Lord Steven Regal with Sir William in his corner.
I think that was the opening match, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was killer.
Sir William looks like Mr. Belvedere in that outfit. And
we were always curious as to why, who thought the Johnny B. Bad character, what in the fuck even was it? I know it was sort of supposed to be like a Little Richard ripoff, but who the fuck thought of that?
Well, that's the part that always confused me is how the hell did that ever get over? You got a guy playing a gay Little Richard character, and he was over for a period of time in WCW with the fans and stuff. I've never been able to figure that out. That character sucked.
Yeah, I know.
And let's see how gay I can go around.
It seems like there were a lot of matches. They call him Johnny B. Bad. Ooh. I can probably get the whole match listing back on here so we can talk about every one of them.
Yeah.
But another thing that was so funny about that match was those little fucking rockets of shit that Johnny B. Bad every match. I think he had 2 of them, and it would basically just blow confetti and a bunch of shit everywhere, and it made a mess. Every wrestler had that shit on them for the rest of the matches on.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. It was like one of those big popper things where he like pulled it, and I think dollar bills and shit shot out of it too. I go, ooh, and picture him on there prying a dollar bill. Like,
yeah, I think that's what it was, because I'm pretty sure WCW back in that time period wasn't going to actually put over, like, put real dollar bills, maybe $1 bills or something. That'd be killer.
That's true. I'm pretty sure I do remember what the next match was, though. It was the Vader and Guardian Angel match. God damn.
Yeah. The funny thing about Ray Traylor is when he left WWF, I guess in like 93, maybe 92, 93, something like that. They couldn't use the name Big Boss Man. So the geniuses at WCW marketing were just like, let's call him the Boss. We're going to dress him up exactly like the Big Boss Man. But instead of having Big Boss Man on his shirt, it's going to have the Boss.
It's like Tony Dan's up in that bitch. But yeah, he was the Guardian Angel in this one, and I don't think that gimmick lasted very long either. And then he went like to, he was either like Big Bubba after that, or I'm not entirely sure which one.
I think it was actually, he went to, like, somebody in the Guardian Angels actually wanted to have a wrestler as a, I remember they did the Kiss Demon and shit, and they were doing all these sponsorships with wrestlers and stuff. So they had, of course, the Guardian Angel. And you hang on to this and talk to yourself for a second.
So that match blows because neither one of those guys can do anything really. Like Vader's all right for a big guy, but he just, I don't know. Like with somebody like Ray Traylor, he ain't gonna have a good match.
Right. But the next match after that would be Terry Funk and Bunkhouse Buck versus Arn Anderson and Dustin Rhodes. And Dustin Rhodes has been looking for a partner. And this always happened back in WCW back in the day.
This was awesome.
Like, anytime somebody needed a partner, whether it be Dustin Rhodes or Sting needed a partner, wanted to get Ric Flair as his partner, it never works out good. And of course, Arn Anderson, the funniest shit, Arn Anderson gets in the ring and goes, yeah, come on, and he just fucking DDTs Dustin Rhodes. It's fucking hilarious.
And then he proceeds to break his arm, like jump on his arm till they say that he broke his arm, all like Dusty Rhodes back in the day when the Four Horsemen used to do that same shit to him. But the funniest part about that whole thing was they were doing a backstage interview with Bunkhouse Buck, Terry Funk, all those guys, and Arn Anderson. And they were
with them.
They had champagne and everything, and like Arn Anderson was really trying hard to cut like a serious fucking promo. Like he was like, I mean, he was doing one of the old school like Arn Anderson promos, talking about they hired me and I'm gonna finish the job. I'll finish the job. And then all of a sudden, Bunkhouse Buck's dumbass comes up behind him and pours like champagne stuff right into his face while he's doing it.
It's going down over his glasses. And he's like, he's still trying to cut. He's like in mid-sentence with his promo. The champagne and shit gets in his eyes, and it's definitely, you can tell it's burning his eyes. He's like, oh, shit.
But the look
I'll tell you something, Dustin Rhodes.
The look on his damn face when he pours that champagne on his over his eyes is priceless.
Yeah, but the next match after that, I think, was probably one of the best matches on the show. And the clock, it's like 15 to 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll tell you what time we're doing this. That would be Stunning Steve Austin and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and what would be, I believe, his last pay-per-view until he did WrestleMania last year, actually. Like, that was the last, because he got injured like a couple of weeks after that, fucked his back up violently.
This match is actually as good as you would think it would be, too, by the participants in it. Like, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat can pretty much carry a match with anybody, but around that time, Steve Austin was like probably one of the best technical mat wrestlers. I mean, they didn't call him the ring master for nothing.
That's right, and he was the Dragon Slayer in this one. He had Dragon Slayer written on his ass. The interesting thing, too, about this is Steve Austin, at this point, he had like a beard and shit, so he looked like Stone Cold, aside from the fact that he had this really, preppy-looking blonde haircut. But that was a really good match, though. I mean, any match, like you were saying, any match with Ricky Steamboat is going to be good anyway. But you go from a great match like that to, what the fuck? It's one of those deals where you don't know what the fuck they're thinking. You have
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like out of nowhere. Like, who in the fuck are the heels and the baby faces in this? Pretty Wonderful, which is Paul Orndorff and Paul Roma. Two of the shittiest fucking wrestlers, especially Paul Roma.
That's like the worst tag team I can
Like
ever think of.
Yeah, at least Paul Orndorff back in like the early to mid 80s, he did have a pretty decent run in WWF.
That makes Show Me look like the Hart Foundation, by the way.
That's true. And they were wrestling, it was Cactus Jack and who else was it?
Oh, it was
Cactus Jack and Kevin Sullivan. I was going to say Dave Sullivan.
Dave Sullivan.
Who was the equalizer as well.
The thing is, we didn't even watch this damn match.
No, we did fast forward through that one, but yeah, that was a really shitty
That's just
match.
one of those things where, like, as soon as I saw all the people in line, like, you just fast forward completely through this. Because there ain't no way it's going to be worth a shit at all.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this, too. Kevin Sullivan's one of those guys where I could never, ever understand how it is that he got to wrestle. Because, for one thing, he never looked like a wrestler. And another thing, he never could do anything. Like, the moves that he did were shit that a little kid could do. The little stomp thing that he did off
When
the top
Kevin
rope.
Sullivan was in the ring, he was looking up the wrestlers like this. Look up there. That's Kevin Sullivan.
Oh!
I'm Kevin Sullivan. I'm going to wrestle you.
Do you remember, though, if you're watching this, do you remember the stomp? Because that's be a damn move.
Let's do the Sullivan stomp.
Basically, he just jumped off the fucking top rope on you, and like onto your gut with his boots.
Everyone remembers the Tree of Woe, though.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, we didn't watch that match, but I can almost guarantee it sucked.
The final match, of course, is the match we've all been waiting for. And Tony Schiavone didn't let us forget that this was the match that everyone always wanted to see. You had both of the 80s wrestling icons in one match in what was sure to be the best wrestling match in the history of wrestling.
Ooh.
And they made sure to let everyone know this.
Ooh.
And to be honest, the match wasn't that bad. The match was actually pretty good, considering, like, I think Hogan was like in his 40s by then, and Flair was in his 40s. They were a little bit past their prime. Now they're really past their prime. Like, how many fake hips have they had between them from one? And Ric Flair looks like he's fucking pickled now. We were talking about that earlier. Like, Ric Flair actually had a tan then. But now he's like fucking just pink looking. It looks like somebody put anal bleach all over his face.
One thing with it, I did notice about this, I think it was the match before this actually, was that Linda Hogan and I guess Brooke and Nick were both in the front row, and like I think you said Nick was like 4, Brooke was 6, and Linda still like apparently didn't look like an old fucking saddlebag at that time either. But they were all, you could clearly see them throughout the whole thing.
Don't talk about Linda like that now.
Well, she did look like a saddlebag back like when that Hogan show was on.
You saying you wouldn't lay it to her? I would.
I ain't saying nothing.
She might be old saddlebag, but she's got some big old titties.
That's what I'm saying. No, she wasn't old saddlebag in this. But anyway, it was fucking hilarious to see all them like at that age, like waiting for that Hogan match to come around. And
let's reiterate this. Okay, throughout all these matches, and some of them were good, some of them were not so good. The announcers never shut the fuck up about this match the entire time. Like they wouldn't let you forget that this was the main event. Like this was the big thing, and this was the start of things to come with WCW. Because at this point, when Hogan came in and they had this was their biggest pay-per-view ever at the time. You know, when they had it. They were like, holy shit, let's get everybody we can from WWF. And that's really when it all started. So, but you know what? The match itself wasn't too bad. I mean, it's Hogan, Hogan was the biggest draw in the history of wrestling. There's no doubt about that. But as far as wrestling goes, the matches go, usually aren't, that great. But I mean, this one was decent enough. I think Flair, with the help of Flair, it wasn't that bad.
it just had like a ton of spots in it that didn't really have anything to do with wrestling. That's probably the only thing that saved it. Like you had Sherry jumping off the top rope on Hogan. You had her interfering with the match at least 3 or 4 different times. You had like Mr. T, Shaq running around. Like there's tons of people just running around for no apparent reason like throughout this match.
Yeah.
And a lot of it did like go outside the ring and stuff too. That's probably one of the only things that saved it from being like, because you ain't gonna have a technical wrestling match with fucking Hogan. I don't care.
Since you were Sherry doing the titty drop, those were nice. Actually, Sherry, you were saying she did look really good. Like I I guess she slimmed down a little bit or something. And
yeah, I mean, I don't ever remember her looking any better than that at that time period.
This calls you a sensuous baby. Ric Flair made her go to the gym and lose that extra weight, baby, so he could fucking run the half.
So I guess you probably realize how the match turned out if you've got any sense.
Yeah. Hogan, first match in the company, won the title. There you go. But this pay-per-view's not too bad. This is actually, like, we've been on a WCW kick lately and been watching a lot of WCW. This is probably the best one that we've watched.
It's by far the best. Like when we
were watching like a lot of '93 WCW, and that's like it's actually one of my favorite eras just because like how random it was. All the fucking people that were in there weren't in there for like a month at a time or something. Like, you can see the Cole twins, and that was back when Harlem Heat was called Cain and Abel or something like that, or what were they called?
I think it was something like
Cain
that. One of them was Cole. Cain and Cole.
Yeah, Cain and Cole. So anyway, WCW. Yeah.
I give this about a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah. So what's next, Uncle Bill? We might ought to make a tradition of doing this every once in a while. This has been fun. This is something different. This isn't horror. This is wrestling. And we all know that all 3,000 of our subscribers are going to love the fuck out of this.
Yeah, I don't know which one will be next. I mean, we got a plethora of options.
Look here. Here's what I'm thinking. King of the Ring, 95.
Oh God.
A horrible era for WWF.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the worst pay-per-views that time, dude.
I think it's one we may need to revisit.
Ooh. So until then.
Don't get much better than having Bob Holly in the fucking King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah, wait till you see who wins it.
But anyway, yeah, for anybody that gives a shit, Bash the Beach 94, check it out. Check us out. Over at DEADPIT.
.com.